Thank you for listening to the Shawn1113 podcast show. I am your host, Shawn1113. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, wherever platform you may be listening to, anywhere and everywhere in the world where podcasts are available. Everywhere and anywhere. So, with that, got adjusting to my new work schedule. Doing all right with that, with the overnight work. I'm pretty much getting used to that. But for sports right now, a whole lot of sports going on. It doesn't matter which sport you're watching or multi sports you're watching. There's something for everyone. First and foremost, week one of college football season. I gotta tell you, defense ruled the day. Ohio State, Texas. Um, I gotta, and also, like I said, the Ohio State defense just outlasted the Texas defense. And it didn't help Arch Manning that Manning and his team did not that whenever went on fourth down, they just got I mean they couldn't convert fourth down basically, and that game would have been a whole lot different. Arch Manning looked shaky, yes. Julian Sailing was steady in the pipe. Only had 131 yards, but that one touchdown pass was the game winner though to Tate. So it was a low scoring game, and well, like I said, it's only one game. We'll see what happens with Texas and Ohio State. Um, Notre Dame and my Miami Hurricanes exhale for a moment because I thought they were going to blow it. Miami was going to blow it again, and they just time ran out on Notre Dame. That's all that was. Beck Carson Beck looked quite good a lot of time. Um, I mean, he's very vulnerable to pressure. I know Notre Dame does have a really good defense, but he was outstanding at times. It was more than enough to win that game, especially that one-headed catch from McDaniels. That was something else to watch. They'll be fine. Both teams will be fine in that aspect. Upset of Boise State seems like they're overrated, in my opinion, and got stomped by South Florida this past Thursday, the 27th of August. Florida State. Speaking of surprises, though, Florida State beating Alabama. Maybe it shouldn't be a shock after FSU went 2-10, but something's not right with Alabama. They got the athletes, they got everything, they got that pedigree. Something's something's very much off balance with Alabama. Um, they got to be careful with that, in my opinion. But and LSU being outlasting Clemson, basically, and getting that off crying coming back of openers. That's huge. Clemson overrated? I don't know, but we're definitely going to find out. Like I said, it's week one of the college football season. You never know. You honestly never know. Tennis, a lot of things going on, and I'm going to tell you right now. Going to be honest with you. The American woman, like I said, when being hired, they didn't know. They didn't know what was going to be American tennis. It's just like it feels like American will come, one American will lead, will go, and yet we got a reload. Pagulia, Coco Goff, Naomi Osaka, I, Taylor Townsend, who lost yesterday. I mean, it is reload. American women's tennis is in really good shape right now, in my opinion. I still think Sam Liga will win this Open one way or the other. To repeat, American men are beginning to, though, but it got a long way to go. I think Alcatraz will win the U.S. Open this year, in my opinion. Djokovic will be there. We'll find out. We'll find out as time goes on in U.S. Open tennis. Speaking of that, let's go to the next subject: Premier League football. football or soccer or world football. But looking at the table right now, my Man City is definitely struggling right now, losing to Tottenham and Brighton. So Liverpool, like I'm predicting right now, is going to win the Premier League, repeat as champion. Um, Chelsea second, better than I thought. Arsenal losing to Liverpool is nothing. Shane Tottenham has surprised people. Everton, Sunderland, Bournemouth each with six. And yes, United fans, you can rejoice. They're ahead of Man City by 1 point from ninth place to 13th. And in the bottom, Wolves have not won a game yet. Aston Villa, as surprise is, what happened to them? I don't. To a surprisingly good Everton team. Newcastle and Aston Villa, one of the top teams, are now at the bottom at the moment. Like I said, it's early though. We'll see what happens as time goes on, mainly toward halfway toward the Premier League season. Now, Major League Baseball saying it's real quick. And upcoming, Shawn Steele's college football picks week 2, pick 6. American League, Blue Toronto is steady. Yankees and Red Sox are getting hot at the right time though. Three game three. I mean, Blue Jays are up by 3 over the Yankees and 3.5 over the Red Sox. The Central reduced a little bit by single digits. I still think the Tigers will win. Royals might make a playoffs. Maybe might make the last playoffs up. And the West, 2 game. I usually have the 2 game over Seattle, and the Rangers are pretty much catching up in the moment with a hot with an 8-2 as of late. Could they make the wild card? I don't know. It's a wild scramble though. Over to the National League. Philly six game lead over the New York Mets. Brewers got a nice little cushion over Chicago Cubs 6.5. Dodgers and Padres are battling it out. Um, Dodgers have a game lead. That's the MLB standings. As time goes on, we're in pretty much in the playoff push at the moment in our Major League Baseball, in my opinion. Now to boxing, big, big boxing match coming up. Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas on September 30th. In my opinion, it should be a great fight in Las Vegas. I don't know who to pick on that one. I'll probably get a pick, make a more on the Crawford Alvarez fight um, as we get very closer to that. And in my opinion, the 3 best boxers is Usyk, Crawford. You can switch either one of them. Inoue from Japan, even though Inoue struggled in his last fight. Um, you can go. You can switch ones, and you couldn't go wrong about that. The best women's boxers in the world. Well, I'm going to say Clarissa Shields, and really close behind is Kayla. In my opinion, and that's my opinion about boxing and pound for pound. Now, let's call 6 week 2, and I might get a couple upsets as well. And like I said, it'll all be listed. Now, NFL picks week 1. I did previous podcast on the Shawn1113 podcast show. Please check that out about those week 1 picks. I'm very excited about the NFL this year as I usually at this time of the year. But if you want to, but please go back to the previous podcast. I made my picks there. NFL week 1 picks. Now, now let's get back to Shawn Steele's CFP pick 6 week 2. Illinois and Duke. I'm going to pick Duke. Army and Kansas State, picking Kansas State. Kansas and Missouri, picking Missouri. Iowa and Iowa State, picking Iowa State. South Florida versus Florida, picking Florida. And then the big one, Michigan, Oklahoma. I'm going to go on a limb and pick Oklahoma to win that game. That could very well be wrong. And with that, that is the Shawn1113 podcast show. Oh, by the way, September 26th to 28th, the Ryder Cup golf. So all you golf fans out there, get ready for that. And of course, upcoming NBA and NHL season as well. Upcoming. So a lot of sports are now that we're in September, a lot of sports are beginning to come above the surface. It's a great time to be college. It's that well, talking too fast a little bit. It's a great time to be a sports fan in general at this particular point in time. And it's always September and October, in my opinion, that brings out the sports fan in pretty much everyone who are interested in sports. With that, that is the Shawn1113 podcast show for September 1st, 2025. If you love this content, please put a 5-star rating, comment, and share this podcast wherever you may be with friends and family. With that, thank you so much. Please stay encouraged no matter what, and live your life as normal as possible in an abnormal world. Thank you for listening to the Shawn1113 podcast show. God bless you.